Oh, there's a million comments. Let me see. Hold on. I have a peanut gallery here wanting to know if his comment came up. Let's see. There's a lot of comments, so thank you for.
It's right at the bottom of the list.
I'm looking.
I'm in between JJ Biggs and Kathy.
We just put a comment now?
Yep.
Oh, well. No, I don't see anything.
Damn it. Well, let's stay here on mine.
All right. Rudely interrupted once again. It happens all the time. It's all about Dave. Sorry, Dave. Anyway, guys, I hope everybody is doing well. And I'm just sitting here kind of just doing my own thing. I apologize. I hope everybody has had a good week. It is the weekend. Fun times. Yeah, we didn't work on the pavilion today. Actually, I was getting some grass cut today. Needed it. So, actually, most everything is done now between what I did yesterday and today. So, but you haven't seen that on video yet. But that's, you'll see it when I walk around. I'll show you. Slacking, exactly, Mark. I know, how terrible. But well, I had to wait. Dave had to go get more glue, Mark. So he got that. So we will be working on some of that tomorrow a little bit. And yeah, so that's that's that. I don't. So Dave didn't notice. I was giving him a hard time. I said, I go, sure. I said, I'm trying to look nice for everybody, and no, I said you didn't even know. I was just giving him a hard time. I trimmed up the sides. I tightened them on both sides. Tighten it up. This is going to keep growing. This part is going to keep growing because when I'm writing, I want to get my runes in there and all that good stuff. So that's just my own thing. But the sides were getting like crazy. Trying to clean them up a little bit. Better look. Well, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was driving me a little bit nuts, to be honest with you. So I go in streaks with things, and so that's what I was doing there. Okay, so before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody, very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. As long as you can abide by those very simple, easy rules, we'll have no issues. If you cannot, you will get booted out of here. So I thought we already had a cyber attack a few days ago. Nick, we're going to talk about that, and this is where I think there's a misconception with people with cyber attacks, but we're going to get into that in a moment. And we're going to talk. That's what we're going to talk about. Obviously, cyber attacks. But anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right in. What do we got? 185 people in the chat already, and we're only at 52 thumbs up. Very sad. Very sad. So if you have not done that yet, please do so to start. Please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. Also, it makes a big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have for the channel, the better. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. So I was going to tell you this really quickly. There is a large lake nearby, and I'd gone down there a couple weeks ago, and everything was closed. It was cut off, so I had walked down, parked my truck, and walked down, and the whole lower area was completely flooded out. And we need to watch the live stream before we score. Oh yeah, okay. Boston fan. Don't worry. Like I said, you know what? It is what it is right now. We're not playing good baseball. We got way too many people hurt. But here's the thing: Boston's still in last place. So there you go. But anyway, getting back into what we're gone down there today and checked it out. Just like it was nothing ever happened, and yeah, it's still early games. It's a lot of runs get scored in Boston. A lot of run gets scored in Boston. So, but Jermaine is pitching like crap tonight, so that doesn't help either. But anyway, so going blank. Oh, so I went down, like I said, today. It was like nothing ever happened. It just right back to normal. It's so weird seeing stuff like that with the flooding, and then when it's gone, it just goes right back to the way it looked before. So crazy, absolutely crazy. But what are you going to do? Honest question: why don't you use plywood for the base of the roof? Why didn't we use plywood for the? We didn't need to, honestly, Ted, because we were going with a metal roof. Plywood on the roof would have been overkill, so we really didn't need to do that. We had the trusses up there, and then we put the furring strips on there to, you know, screw in the metal. If it had been a wood, if you were doing a shingled roof, might be a little bit obviously would be different. You would definitely have to have plywood, but you really don't need to have plywood for a metal roof. Now you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And I know somebody was asking why we did a plywood floor. It's 3/4 inch plywood. We want to make sure that it holds up really, really well. And the majority of the pavilion is going to be boxed in. So it really not, we're not going to get, it's not going to be wide open, and we're not going to get a ton of rain damage. We're going to treat the floor as well. But, so there, Mac Miami, that's not you.
Mommy, that's my wife.
Oh, Mac Mommy, that's your wife? Okay. Hello, Dave's wife.
And Kristen's in there too.
Oh, now you're in. I see you now. Now you waved. I don't know why your other one didn't come up
I had to
earlier.
reset my phone twice,
Get it squared away.
but I don't know it didn't come through.
Oh, I see. I
It
see.
shows here and then
Uh, I like it so no bugs get up through. Mission of Truth said. Oh, so I want to talk about. Somebody was asking me why is the floor so high, right? Okay, so I got to explain that real quick, and we're going to get into the topic here, guys, in a moment. I promise you, but I did want to explain a couple things with a pavilion. All right, in West Virginia, there's no flat ground. There's no flat ground. Okay, so if you look at where the floor is on the one end, it's pretty low, and as it goes out, it gets higher because that's how the ground is. So to make that floor level so that we have a level floor, that's the way that we had to do that. There was no way. I mean, we could have started maybe that much lower, but at the end, it would still be a lot bigger gap on the far end of the pavilion. So that's why that is like that. I mean, it's a great question, and I figure, well, I'll just address it in the live stream, probably the easiest way. But tilted line dancing is pretty fun, yeah. But no, I'm like I said, things are coming along good. We got about half the floor in now. Um, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna work on that some more tomorrow. We're not. See, here's the best part. We're not in a rush. It's not like, oh my God, we have to have it done in 2 days. There's nothing like that. We're gonna get it done before everybody comes down for the next get together. That floor will be in. Hopefully, with me and Dave working on it, we should be able to get it in there within the next 2 days. Because I know there's rain in the forecast after that, and so we'll probably get things more squared away that way. I don't have a whole lot of grass left to cut, so that's definitely helpful. I've been trying to stay ahead of that. Again, like I got the next 2 days to finish up cutting the grass because we're looking at rain like 5 days in a row next week. So we're just trying to get the important things done and squared away and stuff like that. One of the things tomorrow that I will be doing, I still have to wash the bee or queen separator. I got to wash that, but that all is going to go on, I think, tomorrow. I will do a video on that. So no, we're not going to insulate the pavilion, Delbert. No, no insulation. It's basically going to be, it's going to be used year round, but in that small of a space with that stove, even in the wintertime, it'll blow you out of there, insulated or not. And it's basically the pavilion is going to be, it's an area to gather to eat and stuff like that. So, yeah, right. Don Hill says no need to with a heat source in it. Yeah, and it's going to be just fine like that. So, But like I said, you'll be seeing progress on that. That'll be something that we'll be working on. You know, once the floor's in, the wall part of that should be fairly easy. Yep, we're going to put windows in the pavilion as well. We've already actually Sandy was in the chat. We have a group chat that we talk in there, and she had said, we really need some windows over on the kitchen side for the cross ventilation, and she's right. I mean, she's 100% right. She wants a sink and stuff in there as well. Yeah, no hot tub in the pavilion. So, but like I said, it's just we have things that we want to do and get squared away. Stripper pole, yeah, exactly. Make it really high. Make it really high. So, but we're not going to get into that conversation again. So, but anyway, it's going to be a place where when we get into this winter coming up, right? Once we get into this winter coming up, we're going to have a place that we can be out of the weather, that we can go in and warm up, someplace where we can go inside and cook, and all those type of stuff. And that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, when it's all done and squared away, it's going to be awesome. There's been a lot of hard work in it, a lot of sweat equity, a lot of blood. I've bled for it. I know Ronnie's bled for it. I think Mark's also bled for it so far. So, I mean, these things happen, but it's part of what you do. But when you sit back and you can look at, a project and seeing it really coming together, so that's amazing. And it's really cool. And it's been, like I said, it's just, and it's a joint effort. It's everybody coming together and working together. With Paul and Barbara coming in for a couple days this week and helping, get the rest of the floor joists in and start getting the plywood down. I mean, that's huge because, I mean, with me and Dave just trying to do that, the two of us, it would have been a lot more difficult. So having the extra hands was huge, very much appreciated. And, and that's the beauty of, again, the team effort. And so that it's just very cool. An eater project would be a clean deer skull. What? I don't know what you mean.
They were talking about putting a deer head in the nest.
Oh, I gotcha. Actually, I have back in New York. I got to bring them down to mount. Well, I have antlers up in New York, like elk, that Eric had given me, that are sitting actually on the outside of the one of the storage sheds up there. And so, I want to bring that down, and that would be cool on the pavilion as well. But the pavilion's name, so anybody that's wondering, we did name the pavilion. It's the Raven's Nest. So one of the guys in the group has made a sign that will be, hopefully he comes in July. He lost his father-in-law. He had planned on coming down, for the get-together this month, but then his father-in-law had passed, and obviously family has to always come first. So, he was not able to make it. But he should be here in July, and so we'll get that mounted, and you'll get to see that, and that's really cool too. And it's like I said, it's everything. It's coming together. It's been a lot of work. Obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot more to do, and it will continue to be, stuff to do. So, but like I said, real excited about everything. Will the exterior wood be wood or metal? The exterior, we're going to do T111 on a Mission for Truth for the walls, on the outside walls. And then what you do, the way that you do that, what I did in New York, is you wait a season, you let winter go through, and like next spring, we would stain it. So you let it season a little bit for like 6 months, 8 months, and then in the spring, we'll stain the entire outside of that. And then that's like the coloring of, just give her a treat. That's what she wants. So the coloring of our house up there was real. I don't know. I like the way it came out. It was really cool with some of the weathered stuff and stuff like that. So, but no, it's going to be, like I said, we'll be getting, obviously, once the floor's in, then we'll start working on the walls and and all that type of stuff. So, like I said, it's coming together, slow and steady. A lot of work, obviously, a lot more to go. But the hardest parts are pretty much almost done, and that's getting the floor in and getting that roof on that thing. Getting that roof on there, just not fun. It was not fun, and that was a weekend that we as a group busted our butts, and it was all hands on deck. So I mean, I don't have any new bunker videos for you guys because I haven't worked on the bunker in 2 months. We will be getting back to the bunker. I promise you, more work is going to get done there. But we're gonna go for that. So let's actually get into topic. Let's do that. What are you at? 296 in the chat, 119 on the thumbs up. Did you guys trim the excess 2x4s that were protruding out of the pavilion? On the one end, no, not yet. It's not 2x4s out there. That is furring strips. So those do have to be cleaned up as well, and that's not that big of a deal. It's just making sure we got somebody on a ladder, and then somebody up there cleaning that up and making sure that they're not going to fall. So that actually won't be very difficult. That'll probably be like a 10-minute job, to be honest with you. We'll spend more time going up and down the ladders than trimming that stuff off. But all right, so let's get into this with the cyber attack stuff. Getting into the topic this early, I know, Okie Forge, can you believe it? Grand Slam Red Sox. Tell me that's not true. Hold on, now I gotta look. You guys are irritating me. Freaking Red Sox fans. No, I'm just giving you guys a hard time. You're fine. See, now I got to look. You're doing me dirty. Yeah, 10-1. Oh, close game today. All right, well, that game sucks. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Jermaine is probably out of the game by now. Hey, enough. Come here. Stop. He's not giving you any more. You've had enough. Don't be piggish. You want to keep your girlish figure, huh? Hey, do you? All right. Love my Red Sox. Oh, then she can't come here. Nope. Sorry. Nope. You can't come here. We don't allow your type, which is Red Sox fans, here at the Yankee homestead. You're fine. I'm just teasing. You're fine. It'll give us something to go back and forth about. But just remember, even though the Red Sox are winning today, even though they're winning 10-1, they're still in last place. So there we go. And they better not sweep the Yankees this weekend because that would really suck. All right, let's get on to this, guys. When you get the plywood installed, I want to see you and your buddy sitting in lawn chairs drinking a sundowner. Oh, I'll tell you what, John. Yesterday, we were actually up there with, even though we only got part of the flooring in, we were sitting in lawn chairs. Hello! Enough. We were sitting in lawn chairs drinking a cold one. Yeah, so we were already doing that. All right. I would rather watch the Yankees than the Dodgers. Oh, my God. Funny. And I got my buddy Steve that lives out in the Blue House. He's a diehard fan. So, and when the Yankees went out to the Dodgers, they took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. And, yeah, there was a lot of crap talking going on. A lot. So, all right. Let's get into this, guys. I mean, I know where you guys are probably like, this guy hasn't talked about the topic at all. And you're right. I haven't. So, let's get into the topic. Cyber attacks, right? If you think cyber attacks have stopped at any point in time, they haven't, okay? They have not. The problem with what's going on, when there was a lot of in the chat about the cyber attacks, like with the one pipeline here in the north or the East Coast, right? All the different stuff, the attacks on the banks and stuff like that. People really started getting upset, as they should, right? As they should. But what do you hear now, realistically? You don't really hear very much at all. But I will tell you this right now. Cyber attacks are a daily thing. They're a daily thing that is going on. They're not stopping. You're talking about very sophisticated, detailed stuff. So we can equate it with this one. Being swatted, right? The people that do the swatting, these guys, they're on the dark web. They use the Tor program, which scrambles the IP address, so the cops can't just go, okay, this is coming from this direction, and these are the people that are doing it, because they don't know, they can't figure it out. So these guys that are doing those type of things, and that's more of an irritation, to be honest with you. Swatting things more of an irritation, even though people have died because of that, which is true. Um, but the problem is, and that's just them playing. All right, swatting is playing to these people. The ones that are dead serious about trying to get into different technologies and cause problems and freeze up stuff and hold things for ransom, those folks are really, really dedicated to what they do. They know what they're doing. They're very, very smart people. A lot of times, she just had a drink of water, Brenda. I don't know if you heard it. You probably should have heard it. I mean, you can't miss it when she's doing that. But anyway, like I said, these cyber attacks are continuing all the time. I don't think people realize how vulnerable we truly are. Truly vulnerable we are as a country. There was a hair on there. It was driving me nuts. How vulnerable our country is to cyber attacks, and what other people really don't think about. And I know I'm beating a dead horse when I say this comment, guys, because I talk about it all the time, but I really want you to think about this, okay? Our electrical grid is so antiquated, number one. The stuff that we use is very vulnerable, easily hacked, and these people, if they want to, they can shut it down at any time. Our own government could shut it down at any time. So don't think because if we have a grid down situation, automatically it's some foreign enemy. It could be our own country doing it to us. It could be. I'm not saying it would be. I'm saying that is an absolute possibility. I've already talked many, many times about this, guys. Everybody talks about, oh, they're coming for our guns and this and that and all those type of things, right? And are they trying to pass laws to restrict people from this, that, and the other thing? Of course they are. We know that. I mean, there's no doubt they're out there. They have an agenda. They want to disarm everybody, right? But the reality is this. Regardless of what gun laws are put in place, there are people that will not give up their guns. They're going to bury them. They're going to hide them, whatever the case may be. All right. You could easily take over the cities in this country. Easily take over the cities. I mean, it's not difficult. Just stop the flow of traffic. It's as simple as that. You stop the flow of traffic, and that's it. Nobody's going in or out without being checked and all that type of stuff. It's very, very easy to do that, to control that population. The problem that you're going to have is controlling the population out in outlying areas that have a prepping mindset in general. They don't call themselves preppers, but they've been doing it forever and a day. How do you control them, right? The best way to control them is take away the creature comforts, take away power, take away gasoline, take away all those things. And eventually, the reality is, and you may sit here and go, oh, no, I would never. But a lot of people will give up because of that, and they will come in and they'll give themselves up. And if that means that they have to, not have their guns or whatever the case may be, you're going to see a lot of people go, okay, as long as I can have my internet and, access to doctors, access to medicine and those type of things, it's real easy to control people. I had people many times go, oh, they couldn't do martial law, wouldn't work. They can't enact it in the whole country. They don't have to. And that's the reality. I did a video way back, and I said in the video, 90% of people will go to FEMA camps willingly, and here's why. And I outlined these different things. Again, my kids are older now, right? They're older. But if my kids were little and I was, I'm a holdout, I'm not giving up, I'm staying out here, I'm not coming in, and my daughter gets sick with something that's treatable if I take her in, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take her in because I don't want my daughter to die. You do what you have to do, and people are going to do what they have to do. The majority of people are not preppers. We know that. That's a fact. They may be anti-government. They may, have this fantasy of what it's going to be like. Well, we're going to be this, and we're going to be this militia, or blah blah blah, or whatever the case, whatever they think. Okay, whatever they think, it's not going to be what they think it's going to be. It's not going to be some glorious, wonderful thing. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be hard. And if you don't have, you know, if you don't have your stuff squared away and putting yourself in a position to not need to go in, all right, you're going to go. If you have somebody that's insulin dependent and you don't want them to die, down the road, they're going to go in or you're going to take them in. It's very, very simple. I mean, it's Henry Kissinger back in the 70s, folks. Henry Kissinger in the 70s said, "Control the food, control the people." And it's that simple as well. If I'm the government and I have places like Idaho, let's go with Idaho, right? A lot of preppers in Idaho, okay? At how many people even know basic first aid? Exactly, Delbert, they don't. That's the whole point. They don't. They have no idea. What you have to let's like I said again, we're gonna use Idaho, right? A lot of preppers in Idaho. They're ready to go, blah 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 blah, right? Well, I'm the government. I'm not going to go up there and try to root them out in the mountains and dig them out and fight them and stuff like that, because that's what they want. They want you to come up there, have major loss of lives of troops trying to dig them out and fight them and stuff like that. So you just cut them off. No food, no water, no gasoline, no power. Four simple things. Four simple things. Or let's number five, no medical treatment. Let's even go with that, right? No food, no water, no power, no medical treatment. You can't have access to anything, and you're on your own. So you're going to have what you have. That's it. Now, there's a lot of people that have lived like that for a very, very long time, and that's great. But when think about again, let's look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Look at the number of people that are on some form of medications. It's a huge, huge number in this country. So now if you've been cut off and you don't have access to that medication and you haven't devised a plan of how to either substitute that, or you are completely stocked up for an extended period of time, but eventually those medications are going to run out. They're going to run out. So, you have to think about those type of things. You don't have access to clean drinking water. What is your plan? What have you put into place? Are you ready? Are you ready to, process your own water and have ways to be able to filter water and clean water? Again, yeah, Prep Rebel just said, Ed, you control the water, you control everything. Same situation. People have a fantasy of what they think it's going to be like in an STF situation. Any real prepper that's out there, there's a small piece of them that wants something to happen so we can say, I told you so we can be right. But it's a very small piece. I honestly hope nothing ever happens, because if nothing ever happens, I'm going to have a self-sustainable place surrounded by awesome people and all those type of things, and that'll be great. And we'll be able to really get this place dialed in, over a period of time. Do I believe that's going to be the case? I don't. I absolutely do believe there's going to be an SHTF situation. I don't say it's going to be this, that, or the other thing. My opinion, it would be a grid down situation, because that's going to be the most catastrophic. It is the best way to do it, because again, and I've said this before too, we will eat ourselves. That it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We'll eat ourselves. And what do I mean by that? They shut the power off, and then all the powers that be have to do, they're protected. They have their bunkers. They have their private armed security, and all those type of stuff. All they got to do is sit back and wait, and we will kill each other off. Very simple. When you have people that have done nothing, that have done no preparing at all, and then you cut that off, they not any kind of idea of how to survive, what to do, how to purify water. They don't know how to start a fire. They don't know how to start a fire. So, it's just it's crazy. And so anybody worth their salt doesn't want anything to happen because we know how difficult it's going to be. Do I believe it's going to? I absolutely do believe it's going to. I think it's just a matter of time. When they have all the chess pieces in the place that they want them to be, they're going to do what they're going to do. And the Joe average citizen is going to be the one that suffers and pay for that in the long run. You have to look at our situation with our country, and let's be honest. Look at the number of people that are on some form of assistance. Okay, there's a lot. There are a lot of people on some form of assistance. So the government looks at those people as useless eaters. They're a drain on the system. So how do you get rid of them, right? And again, it's simple. You turn the lights off and you sit back, keep them off for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, there'll be a whole lot less of the useless eaters around. Your nursing homes would all be empty. Uh, Anybody with any kind of handicap that were with mental retardation or anything like that, unless their families are taking care of them, they're going to all be gone. Okay. Anybody that is on a ventilator, gone. Anybody on dialysis, gone. Anybody that is receiving life-saving medication that's keeping them alive. 6 weeks with no medication, see ya, gone. And I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not trying to, scare anybody, but this is reality. We're talking reality. The druggies, right? No access to the drugs, they're going to lose their minds, and there's going to be a lot of drug seeking going on. First thing to go is the cheese. Yeah, right. But you're addicted per people, be it alcohol or drugs or whatever. If they don't have access to it, they're going to lose their mind. They're going to be out there trying to steal and rob and get it any way that they possibly can, which is going to cause a lot more deaths because most people are not going to allow that to happen. They're going to take those type of people out. So you get rid of all of them, they'll be gone. Either they'll die from overdoses. They'll die from not having it with withdrawals when they're used to having it, and they can't get it. You have all those people gone that way as well. You will have a lot of people. Ed, with the tornadoes in northern Ohio, a lot of us are in an SHTF situation. John, I understand that, and that is definitely for the people affected by those tornadoes and stuff like that. That is absolutely an SHTF situation. So, but again, there's a lot of people that haven't got a clue how to survive. Period. And depending on the time of year such an event would happen, you would be looking at a situation, especially in a wintertime situation, the number of people that would freeze to death in their own homes would be astronomical. Astronomical, because they haven't got a clue. They don't know how to do anything. They don't realize, okay, hey, I got this tent. It's a 2-person tent, and I can put it in the bedroom, and I can put my sleeping gear inside that tent, close off that room, cover up the windows, and I can, I can stay warm. You'll have a lot of people that'll quit. And what do I mean by that? They'll commit suicide because they don't want to live in a world that they're just not, everything is handed to them and it's all comfortable. You think about this younger generation, okay? And you think about pronouns. Let's go with pronouns, right? And it's the big hot topic with a lot of things. Well, in a true SHTF situation, nobody gives a crap what your pronouns are. Nobody cares what you identify as. They're not going to give a crap. They're not. And those people are so caught up in being right and having people cave into their wants and needs and those type of things. Nobody's going to be doing that in that situation. It's going to be survival of the fittest. So, another group that won't make it, anybody that is morbidly obese, and you have people bringing them in food. You have your enablers, right, that are helping them so that they can stay in their bedroom and just eat themselves to death. Well, there's not going to be anybody bringing in food, and that food's going to run out. So what do they do then? They can't even get out of bed, a lot of them. They can't move 20 feet without being out of breath. How long do you think they're going to last in a true SA situation? They're just not. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying I'm like I said, I am reality based. I'm always reality based. I think of these situations. I think of these scenarios. You have that situation happen, and let's go with 6 weeks. Let's say it's our own government that does it, even though they would never admit that they did it. They would blame it on a foreign actor. But how much more resources would be available after a 6 week period, and how many people that the government considers to be worthless eaters, they'll be gone. They're not there no more. They don't want the older people around because their usefulness is used up in their mind. Okay, and that's one big person can feed 15 to 12 to 15 cannibals easy. Oh, that would come down. There would be a lot of cannibalism. There's no doubt, especially in the cities. Especially in the cities, there would be a ton of that. So it's just the reality is, going back to these cyber attacks, they're happening every day. And if they decide to flip that switch at whatever point down the road that happens, it's going to be tough. And I want you to think of how, I mean, I grew up, in the generation, they talk about generation, X, or generation, yeah, X, you know, I mean, we came home when the street lights came on, or when it got dark, be home when it's dark. And I was laughing. There was somebody that was saying, what, like we drank out of hoses, right? So if somebody had a hose outside their house, you turn the hose on, you drank the water out of the hose. That's how you got a drink back in the day. And then some guy was like, were sinks not an option? You didn't go in the house. They didn't want you in the house. They go play, go have fun, get the heck out of here. I'm busy. Don't bother me. They didn't want to bother. They didn't want to be bothered. They had their own things that they were doing, and they didn't want you around. So we found our own entertainment. We did our own thing. We played kickball, baseball, basketball, you name it. We did all that. Rode our bikes wherever we wanted to go. Uh, you know, we, that was our generation. That was our generation. So, you know, the generation now is so dependent on the internet and your smartphone, and everything is there for you. Uh, you know, and when that's gone, uh, they're not going to be able to handle that because they're not used to it. They don't know what to do. I will tell you this, and this is my thing, and I used to tell people this all the time. Like when the kids and I moved off grid, who do you think the biggest adjustment was for at that point in time? Was it the kids or was it me when we first moved off grid? I'll let in the comments. Who do you think it was harder on, me or the kids? Just put you or the kids. I'll give you a minute to put your guesses up there. It's about 50-50 with the answers. I'll tell you who it was hardest on. It was hardest on me. Kids are very, very resilient. They adapt. They adjust way better. They adjust way better. But when you're the adult and you're used to X, Y, and Z, okay, and now you don't have it, it's a huge adjustment. Now, for me, it was not that big of a deal because I knew what I was getting into. Was it more difficult than I thought? Yes, 100% yes. But I didn't go into it with some delusion of this is going to be, utopia and rainbows and unicorns and everything's going to be beautiful and we're going to sing around the campfire. I knew it was going to be tough, but I will tell you right now, it was way tougher than I thought. Way tougher than I thought. And my priority as the parent was to try to keep things as normal as possible for the kids. That was my biggest thing. So I'll give you an example. So we moved to the property in June, right? When we first moved to the property in New York. We're living off grid. We're in a 37-foot camper, got a small solar system going, and then we got the 14 by 40 lofted barn brought in, and we started working on that and turning that into our home. So we get through that first winter, and we get into April of the following year. And I and here's the important thing too that you need to take into consideration if you're going to choose to live this lifestyle. I said to my kids, "What is the one thing that you want dad to work on right now to make our lives better here living off grid?" And it was unanimous with both of them. Okay. And they said more power because what we were having to do, the batteries would not make it through the night. So, and I mean literally, guys, for years, we would run the power during the day, and at a certain point at night, we shut it all down, and all the power was off until the next morning. And that's what we did. We didn't have power 24 hours a day for a long time. It was a couple of years before we literally had power full time. And so, again, that's another adjustment. So they wanted a better system. So that's what I did that next spring. I increased the solar, got different batteries, and just, and was tweaking and figuring things out. That's why, for me, when I came down here to West Virginia and I set up my solar system here in West Virginia, I said, I am not screwing around. I'm going with a 48-volt system right off the top, making sure things are squared away for here because I went through the steps of buying cheaper, right? Then replacing it and then replacing it again. So, I'd already gone through that. So that old saying is, pay once, cry once. Because if you don't do it right the first time, you're going to have to go back, redo it, which is going to cost you more money in the long run. So, I'm disabled and a diabetic, but yet I am prepping for a family. Are you saying I should give up now or keep fighting? Always fight, Crafty P. Never give up. I would never tell anybody to give up. Absolutely not. What you have to understand, Crafty P, okay, let me put it into this way. Would the government rather not have you here, right? Or would the people that you care about rather have you here? Who do you think cares more about you, the government or the people that you surround yourself with? And that's an easy answer. So you don't even have to put it in here because I know what the answer is. I will never give up. I would never advise anybody to ever give up. There's always options. There's always things that you can do. Look for alternatives of what you can do for yourself as a diabetic. Is there diet to change it, and is there different things that you can do that way? There's always other options. I'll put it like that. I'm not going to give medical advice because that's I get myself jammed up doing that, so I don't do that. But I do not say ever quit. No, absolutely not. So yeah, the government doesn't care about us, folks. That's what you have to understand. We're going to have each other, and if we're not watching out for each other, and if you don't have people that are surrounding you that are watching out for you, you're going to be in deep doo in a really, really fast. So, what if you were a hostage negotiator? Would you tell the bad guy to give up? Oh my God, that's too funny. That's a little bit different situation. But, you know, again, I would never tell anybody to quit or stop. Forget it. You're useless. You're not going to be around long. I would never say that to anybody. What I'm telling you is the way that the government looks at people. Just like I'm going to tell you what. I want you to think about this. Look at our young men and women in the military. Okay. Do you think the government gives a crap about us that have served? Right? How are our veterans treated? Right? In the gentlemen and ladies that are in the military right now, if they get hurt in combat, they're medically discharged and they send them a check, and that's it. They don't care. They don't care. So again, we have to watch out for each other. So Troy says, I'm also diabetic and have a disability and I will always fight. Yeah, I would. Cannon fodder. That's what they look at us as, cannon fodder. Throw them guys in there, do what they got to do, and they could care less. They don't care if we live. They don't care if we die. So, I'm going to give you an example of something. And this is military, okay? When you sign up for the military, you are government property. That's what contract you're signing. You are government property for 2, 4, whatever many years, 3 years, whatever you signed up for. All right. You are government property. So I get done with basic training, like a lot of guys, and I go out that first weekend and I get a tattoo, right? There's the first one right there. Pretty faded now. It's been on there a long, long time. It says fight or die. It's been on there almost 40 years. All right. Super gung ho, ready to rock and roll. Now, that tattoo was fine. I never had an issue with it, anything like that. But let's say that that tattoo that I got, that first weekend leave that I got, ended up getting infected, right? It gets infected. So I'm going to go, to the doctors on post. I'm going to get treated and stuff like that. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to get an Article 15. And what an Article 15 is, it's a punishment. Do you know why? Because I have damaged government property. I've damaged government property. I got an infection because of something that I did to myself, but because I belong to the government, I am government property, and that's what they will do. You will get in trouble. My buddy got in trouble during basic training because he got sunburned. Again, yes, you're government property, and that's how it works. I mean, and that's the reality of it. So. And in the military, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, and like I said, I anybody that served, I have respect for anybody that served. It's a big brother and sisterhood. But there's a big thing called CYA in the military, and that's cover your butt, but using a different word, okay? They will cover their butts every time, and they will throw you under the bus, and they don't care. I'm going to give you another great example, okay? And you can probably see it. I don't know if you can. Right here. Yep. You see that scar on my face right there? I'm going to tell you the story how I got that scar. So I'm down at Permanent Party. I'm down in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And every year you have to requalify with the rifle, right? You have to requalify. Well, I'm left-handed. All right. With the M16, the cartridges of the M16 shoot straight back. All right. They don't go out. They go straight back. So if you are left-handed and you're holding your rifle, where are they going? Right into your face. So that what they had is called a brass deflector that you would put on your M16. So when the cartridge is discharged, they would drop straight down, right? So we get to the range, and there was, the majority of people are right-handed. We already know that, right? We already know that the majority of people are right-handed. So we get to the range, and they're like, okay, it's time to qualify, right? So I go, okay. So I'm the first lefty going up. And I said, well, I'm going to need a brass deflector. And they're like, oh, well, we don't have any here. And I said, okay, so do you want me to qualify in a different day? No, you have to qualify. So as a soldier, you do what you're told by your superior officer. You do what you're told, right? So I am shooting, right? And the rounds are coming back, and it's hot brass, folks. You're shooting the M16. It is a brass cartridge, and it's hot. And they were hitting me in the face while I had my helmet on and my chin strap, and a piece of hot brass went right between my chin strap and my face. Okay. Well, after that happened, and we'll get back on topic. I know we're off topic, but that's okay. After that happened, I took that M16 and I held it out like this and just fired off the rest of the rounds because I was done. People saw my face and saw this big burn that I had on my face, and they were like, I'm not doing it. And they refused to qualify. So what was the direct result of that? So let me tell you what the direct result was. They came back and said, after their investigation, that we had the option to qualify without having the brass deflector, and that it was actually my choice to do so. It was never my choice. I would have never done it. I'd have been like, no, I'll qualify some other time if when you have a brass deflector. I was going to say the R word. I'm not stupid, is what I meant to say. Oh my God. I know there's certain words you're not allowed to use anymore, and I do use that one, I'll be honest with you. But anyway, man, that was really, really close. I'm not stupid, so I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and do it, anyway. But yeah, but they cover their butt, so they're making sure that they don't get in trouble. But it's just, that's what happens. So I have this lovely scar that I will carry around the rest of my life because I did what I was told, and that's how it works. That's how it works. So, but anyway, so that's that story. But again, you're a property when you're in the military. That's what you are. So again, do they care about you? No, they don't. So if they don't care about you while you're in, what do you think that how much less they care about you when you've been injured or you're disabled and now you have PTSD or you have an arm or a leg or something gone? You think they give a crap? No. And a lot of us who joined, we did it because the R word, rat, right, rabbit, rascal. There you go. Though that's what I meant. So, but again, that's 10% of the VA for this guy. No, it is not. But it's just again, I respect anybody that joins because it is an all volunteer military, and people that give the ultimate sacrifice should always be respected. Not one of us said, "Hey, send me." Oh, head count. Wow, I'm way off. Holy crap! I didn't even look at the time. Okay, not one of us ever said like Vietnam veterans, right? Vietnam veterans. Let's go back to that real quick, and we're gonna do head count. I promise. I'm like way off. I can't even believe it. I'm sorry. I get on a roll. It happens. It happens. Did Vietnam veterans at the time when they were drafted into the military said, "Hey, you know what would be a great idea? I'm going to go to a foreign country 10,000 miles away and kill yellow people." Yeah, that sounds like a great time. You think they wanted to do that? They were forced to by their government. So, again, let's think about those things. So, anyway, all right. Let's go ahead since we're only 7 minutes behind on egg count. Let's go ahead and do egg count. So, how many eggs and yes or no for thick neck? And we're not counting Mac's answer because he put it in too soon. So, right starting now. I did that on purpose. All right. Give you guys a moment. See what happens. You guys get me up on my soapbox, and I lose my mind. So we have 366 in the chat. We're at 214 on a thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and thank you ahead of time. Also, it does make a huge difference with the algorithms, so the more interaction, the better it is for the channel, so I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well, so I appreciate that as well. So, all right, so we're going to go with, if you had the same guess, is Joan T, and she had the first right guess, and that is 5 eggs today and no for Miss Thickneck, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Joan T. You've won absolutely nothing. I saw Bubba 1 had 5 and no as well, so he does have the right answer. But Joan T was the first one to get it correct, so congratulations, Joan. Finally, she goes, hey, listen, Dave won it one time, right? Dave won it one time because if you put the same answer in every single time, at some point, it's got to be right. It's got to be right at some point. What's that old saying? Even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. I love that saying. Love that saying because it is so true. But cyber attacks, my friends, are continuing to happen. They're going to continue to happen. You're not hearing about it as much anymore because they don't want people to panic. The banking system is vulnerable. Our internet is vulnerable. The power grid is vulnerable. All that's vulnerable. And if the right people get in there, they can cause a lot of havoc in a hurry. And, so, even like identity theft, think about that. Somebody gets all your personal information. They go out, open up an account, and you're not responsible. You're not responsible for it, but it can ruin your credit. And then you have to prove that it wasn't you, and all those type of stuff. Yeah, old men start wars, young men die. That's exactly right, Mountain Man. That is exactly right. I was watching a couple things today, and I wanted to share this with you guys. Well, not today. I think it was last night. I was watching this, and what they were saying, we're a dying empire. The United States is a dying empire. All right. And so what do they mean by that? Right. We are, and I've said this one before, and I've said this many, many times. We are the modern day Rome. That's who we are. We are the modern day Rome. And how did Rome get beat? Years and years and years of endless war. Also, they crumbled from within because of corruption, greed. Uh, you know, it's the same thing. And that's how Rome fell, and that's how we will fall. All over the world. We are exerting our will, all kinds of different things. Not letting, if somebody doesn't do what we want, we'll destroy them. Either with a military coup or whatever. We get the CIA and all those kind of guys in there doing all kinds of underhanded stuff. This happens all the time, folks. It happens all the time. You look at what, like in Afghanistan, for an example, right? Um, Drone strikes to target, this supposed terrorist or that supposed terrorist. So not only do we kill him, but we kill 18 to 20 of his family members, including women and children. But that is considered collateral damage. We got the bad guy. Okay, yeah, we killed everybody else as well, but we got the bad guy. It happens all the time. And you wonder why people hate us, right? Why they despise us. Why they want to see us fall. That's why. So empires are like any other life form. It has a life cycle. Absolutely. And you think about 20 years of war that we just went through, and we're still all over the place. And now we're looking to try to get into it with Russia. We're looking to try to get into it with China. I mean, who's the next boogeyman? Bad guy. And I love this, okay? And I'm going to be 100% honest with you folks. I mean, you guys may think it's a big threat. Two countries that are no threat to the United States that are the boogeymen. It's one of those two things that they say all the time. North Korea would be one, and the other one is Iran. All right? Iran is not a threat to the United States of America. All right? They're not. They're just not. They don't have the technology. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the military that we do. And the same thing with North Korea. They're a convenient boogeyman to scare you, to scare little children, to make you comply, to, whatever the case may be. They are not a threat. Now, who could be a threat to us? Absolutely China and absolutely Russia. And what are we doing right now with Russia? I mean, let's be honest. And I'm not like rah, 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 Russia, okay? I'm not. But who infringed on who? Let's look at it realistically, okay? Who infringed on who? There was a reporter that was talking to somebody, and I watched this, and I get sent a lot of information from a friend of mine that sends me stuff that you're not going to always see on mainstream news media. And this guy was talking to this politician, and he had said, well, isn't it a fact that NATO was the one that was encroaching on Russia? And they're like, of course, now Russia's the bad guy because they went into Ukraine, right? Well, wasn't NATO trying to get Ukraine into the fold? Because if we did that, right, we get Ukraine into the fold. Now what happens? Now we can put bases right there on the border with Russia, right? You look at all the different countries that have, over a period of time, that have joined NATO, right? A lot of them have, and they all border who, right? They all border Russia. So you don't think that that's a threat to Russia? And that's just my take on it. You can think whatever you want. That's fine. You look at the facts, not what you're fed by the news media that has a slanted view of what we're being told. We're only being told what they want us to hear. Okay? They don't give us all the information. So, should Russia have attacked Ukraine? You know what? I'm not in that position to say yes or no. I don't like to see any country be invaded by another country. But if you look what was going on over there, it was a matter of time, and they were goaded. Again, you have to look at the whole. Look at all the shelling that was being done in a certain region that was Russia by Ukraine. So again, do the research. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Do the research. Go look and see what was done, why Russia reacted the way that they wanted to. And so now, if you want to call it a proxy war, that's what it is. But it's not American boys dying, it's Ukrainian boys dying, and they're killing Russians. And at some point, Russia's going to probably say, hey, you know what? I've had enough of this crap, and they're going to do something else about it. And that's it. That's it. If you, who remembers, what was it, March? I want you to think about this. And this is just a statement, just a statement. So there was a peace accord in hand, right, between Russia and Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, Boris Johnson from the UK goes over and visits Zelensky. And what happened? What happened? Do you remember? Oh, nope, we're not taking that deal. Wonder why that was. Wonder why that was. Okay? Do your research. Pay attention. Watch what's going on. You're never going to be given the full information by your governments, whatever country you're in. Your government is going to feed you the information that they want you to hear. They want you to believe. So this guy's a bad guy. We're the good guys. Every country does it. You think Russia's over there going, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we suck. We're the bad guys. No, they're not doing that. Their government and the propaganda machine that's over there is doing the same thing that we do over here. They're the bad guys. We're the good guys. We have to help. We have to do the right thing, right? It's a big game. It's a big game. So as long as you figure that out and you realize that it's a game, then you realize what the big picture is, and you go, "Wow, I don't want to be part of that." And maybe you do want to be part of it. Maybe you do. I don't know, but for me, I don't want to be part of it. I want to be at peace. I want my privacy. I want to be left alone. I don't want to be bothered. So yeah. Anyone ever play the game Risk? One of my favorites. Yeah, I love Risk. I actually have the box right over there right now. For when SHTF happens, we'll have Risk to play. So yeah, there's, you know, you got to think about these things. Everything. Take everything that you can into consideration. Try to plan accordingly. Do the best that you possibly can. That's the important thing, because we never know when it's going to happen. And when that shoe drops, my friends, I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be bad for everybody. Even those of us that are prepared, it's going to be bad. Because we're never going to be as ready as we want to. As each month, as each week goes by, do we get better? Do we put ourselves in a better position? Yeah, we do. Okay. But you have to stay at it. You got to stay the course. You have to continue to work towards your goals. Because I'll tell you, this is what happens. I've seen it over and over and over again. I see people get into prepping. They're gung ho for like 6 months, a year. They're like, "Oh my God, I got to get ready," and they go and do all this stuff. And then what happens is SHTF hasn't happened yet, or as fast as they thought it was going to. And then they start to lose interest, and then they get caught up in life, because we all get caught up in life. It happens. But what happens is they start to lose that focus on that. Now, do you still need to live your life? Yes, you do, and you should still live your life. Always live your life. But prepping should be part of that, getting prepared for the unknown. So, all right, I'm behind, which is not a surprise to anybody. We're at 345 in the chat, so before we start doing shout-outs, we got 246 for the shout-outs. Let's see if we can get that up to 300 before we jump off here. So that's 54. So let's see if we can get up to 300 thumbs up. So if you have not shot one yet, I would ask you to please do so. To show support for the channel, and thank you again ahead of time. Also makes a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So the goal's 300. We're 42 away now. 42 more thumbs up to get to 300 before we jump off. So let's do that. Okay, so first of all, we have Icky Can up in Canada. Nice guy, really living off grid, doing his thing up there. Definitely go and support him. You have Angry Prepper, and that is Jason down in New York City. You have Alaska Prepper, that is Rudy up in Alaska. Good guy up there as well. There is also Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself Reliance, two different channels, same guy, uh, building up in Canada, doing an awesome job by himself up there. Amazing to watch him build. Just crazy how good he is. So fun to watch. You have Demcab, another good guy. Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizzard doing the Carrington Chronicles. Really good to see it. Um, Good story, a lot of good information. Makes you think, which is what we all should be always thinking. We have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast, doing their thing out there. Really good guys. Definitely go show them some support. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wrangle Star. That is Cody. Another really good channel. Definitely go show him some support as well. We have the Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily over in Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra doing their thing living in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Nice people. Really good information with their channel as well. There is Green Greg's. A lot of good information on gardening. It's important that we know how to garden, so definitely show them some support as well. There is Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. A lot of good information with that as well. Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy's been around a long time. Great channel. A lot of good information with them. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama, down there living and doing their thing down there. You have the Green Dream Project, a couple out in Arizona living in the desert, showing you how to do that, how to thrive while living in the desert. Camping with Steve, that's Steve Wallace, doing stealth camping up in Canada. Real good guy, very down to earth, just fun to watch. Bush Doctor Survival, there is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader, she's been around a long time, somebody else that we should be supporting. Boss of the Swamp, another guy who's been around a long time, great builder, fun to watch him do his thing. We have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond's a good guy, very intelligent. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, he is your guy. So definitely show him some support. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer. A lot of good information with what's going on out in space. Definitely check him out as well. You have Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News giving you all the information. She's real. Let you know what's happening with Yellowstone and all those type of stuff. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, very passionate about the weather, but he also gives back hugely to the community, which I think is a great thing. You have Russell Brand. Russell Brand, I like him very much as well. He gives you the information. He lets you decide what you want to do with it, and I think that that's a good thing. Deep South Homestead, another great channel. The Outsider. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. Let's see, Townsend's. Townsend's is really cool because they do a lot of stuff from the 1800s, so it's real good information. You should definitely be paying attention to that. You have the Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. You have East Tennessee Preparedness, the Economic Ninja, and Little House Off Gritty. They are also in Tennessee. A lot of good channels, a lot of good information out there. Other people are putting other channels up in here, and that's absolutely fine. We should be supporting each other. I think it's important. So, what are we? 281. So we're 19 away from 300 thumbs up, guys. So keep them coming. If you haven't done so already, let's see if we can cross over that 300 mark before we jump off here. But Prep Rebel says, don't forget Prepper Nurse One. I like his channel too. No, it's been so much fun doing this channel for as long as I've been doing it. I really do enjoy it. And I love being able to share our progress with you guys of what we're getting accomplished and what we're doing. And this time around, obviously I'm coming into this experience with all the experience that I learned from New York. So I've made a lot of mistakes in New York. I'm trying not to make them here. But I'm still going to make mistakes, and that's okay. That's part of life, unfortunately. But there's hopefully you guys are learning stuff from what we're doing. What's cool about this time is I'm not doing it alone. I have a great group of people working with me, and I think that it's awesome. So, yeah, and mistakes are how you learn, and owning your mistakes is important as well, I believe, because nobody's perfect. Nobody does everything right the first time. It just doesn't work that way. So wait, 285, 15 more thumbs up, guys. So let me get a drink here. Much better. So, but anyway, um, again, I just to mention too, I also am on Rumble. All these videos that I do here on YouTube are being also transferred and uploaded on Rumble. So definitely check that out as well. I have not made exclusive content for Rumble yet. I do plan on doing that, but to me, it is drives me crazy when people can't accept constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is one thing, and I don't have no problem with constructive criticism. But when people call up and tell you what an a-hole you are, that's not constructive criticism. But no, there's, like I said, nobody's perfect. Nobody does everything right. Um, and I think it's important that we, try to work together. I mean, I think that's a really good thing. So, all right, let's do this. We are legion. We are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. We're a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? We have Philip in Melbourne, Australia. Philip, how are you tonight? I see you're still on your wife's account. That's okay. Franklin County, Ohio. We have Waterloo, New York. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. Edgewater, Florida with Judy. Connecticut's in the house. Western New York with Karen. Central Iowa with Robert. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Please say hi to your lovely wife for me. We got Brianna in Seattle. Larry in Texas. Janet up in BC, Canada. Greenlee County, Arizona. Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert. Mary in Wyoming. We got Michigan with Hope King. East Central Illinois with Lana. Murray, North Carolina with Brandon. Greenville, North Carolina with Jeff. The UP of Michigan with Don. Northern Wisconsin with Crafty. Clarksburg, West Virginia with R Squared. Lakeland, Florida with Danny. Bay of Islands, Newfoundland with Mar up in Canada. Lost on Vancouver Island in Canada with Prep Rebel. Leesburg, Florida in the house with Joan. Western New York with Sherry Ann. Appalachia, Michigan with Alex. Charlotte, North Carolina. We have North Idaho with Pamela. Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria. West Central Ohio with Dale. St. Louis, Missouri. We have Central New York with Village Homestead. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. Again, guys, all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge network of people. If we ever really got organized and came together, there would be no stopping us. We would be a power in ourselves, to be honest with you. We would definitely be a force to be reckoned with. So I think what would happen if our currency were only digital and we had a cyber attack. Yeah, that's a scary thing too. The other thing is scary about going digital with currency. They can control every aspect of it. So if you are naughty and they decide you are naughty, and you being naughty will be what they decide being naughty is, they can stop you from getting your funds or being able to access your money to do the things that you need to do. Right now, guys, in China, they have a social credit score. So if you are misbehaving or speaking out or doing anything that the government has deemed to be inappropriate, you are limited on your traveling. You're limited on all kinds of things. It's absolutely crazy, you know, that they can control every aspect of that type of thing. And I don't want to live in a world where my government tells me what I can do, when I can do it, and how I can do it. I want to be left alone. I want to live my life. We got Ozarks in Arkansas with Randall, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So, but again, you have to think about these things. Planning, planning, planning. It's never easy. Prepping is not, instant gratification. It has to be a passion. It has to be something that you're passionate about. It really does. I think it's important. And, like I said, we're doing what we're doing down here, not just because of fun. We have a plan, and we are trying to make that plan happen. And as each month goes by, we're getting in better and better shape. You know, I mean, getting bees this year, getting fruit trees in, getting blueberry bushes in, more grape plants. More of the raspberries, the red raspberries, and the brandywine raspberries. Getting options in is important. And Dawn Hill just said it's a huge learning curve. Prepping is a very huge learning curve. I can't even begin to tell you the number of mistakes that I've made through the years. A lot of mistakes, but hopefully you learn from your mistakes, you correct them, you get better. It's just like I know some people that have stocked up. They've stocked up on solar and they got all the components that they need and it's all there. Never set it up, never tested it out, but they have it for that emergency. So that emergency comes and now they're going to set up their solar system. Well, what happens when they fry that inverter? I've fried inverters. I have. I've fried two inverters back to back. Never talked about the second one, but I fried two converters back to back. You don't want it to be at that point in time is when you're learning how to do stuff. Figure it out now. Put it in practical practice. Practice what you know. Practice what you learn. So when the time comes, it becomes second nature. It's not. You don't have to think about it. Okay, well, we got to do this. We got to do that. How am I troubleshooting it and stuff like that. So, those are important things. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Really appreciate ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me. It really means a lot to me. So I really, really appreciate what you do. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for being here, supporting the channel, being part of this. And I see we blew through 300. We're at 309 on the thumbs up. So thank you guys for that as well. It was just fun to see if we could get it up over 300, in the time that we had left. But again, I appreciate the support, through the years. I hope you guys are enjoying our journey down here in West Virginia. Do I wish that my family was here with me? I do. I do. I wish that Heather could be here. I wish Eddie could be here. Mom and Becky, I wish they could all be here. My niece Jeannie, I wish she was here as well. So, you never know. When I moved to New York, to the off-grid property, I got told, oh yeah, that's not going to work. And now look who lives there. Becky lives there as well now, and she loves it. So never say never. They may come down here over time, and that would be okay with me. So anyway, and in the meantime, I'll just try to make it better and better. So when they do move down here, they don't, like Heather didn't want to go through it all again, and I don't blame her. I don't. You know, she wants to be able to have all the creature comforts, and I get it. So anyway, guys, we need to remember that we truly are all in this together, that we are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation. It's all nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, we're human beings. We need to treat each other with respect and dignity. People are different. It's just the way it is, but they're still human beings. So also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Uh, you know, we never know what's going to happen. So to tell the people that you care about every day how you feel is really, really important. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. Don't listen to people telling you that you cannot accomplish this or you can't do that. If you set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen, they're going to happen. Okay. Hope says, Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Hope. I appreciate that, hon. Very kind of you to say that. But yeah, I mean, just take care of your business. Do what you got to do. Treat people with respect and dignity, and stay away from that negativity because they want you to fail. Their life sucks, and they want your life to suck too, and they want to tell you what you can't do. So, but just stay focused. You'll be fine. Keep prepping, guys. Keep hanging in there, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Prepper Nurse One out for now.